yakisooka njagala okukulisa abakyala bonna olwaleero olwa International Women's Day naye twokwebaza ekitongole kino abantu bano abeegattira mu kibiina eky'emmotoka zino emmotoka ezikuze emmotoka ez'omugaso ennyo emmotoka zino ziraga ekitiibwa olwebwe okulugatta n'olunaku luno olw'abakyala ekimu ku kyendaba nti omuntu asobola okulabira emmotoka ye bw'ati ku myaka gino asobola kulabira nnyo bulungi ne mukyala we asobola kulabira nnyo n'omwami we ne famire ye so buli lw'otunuulira emmotoka eno efaanana bw'eti olaba awaka gy'eva otegeera they have an organized home kino kikulaga engeri abantu gye bafuddeyo okwerabirira n'awaka waabwe so ndi musanyufu nnyo lunaku luno olubadde wano emabegako twawaayo emmotoka eyatwalanga Ssaabasajja Kabaka ku ssomero emmotoka ye Kabaka Muteesa era twagiwaayo yali wano nga tugikuuma wano ku Uganda Museum twakkiriziganya ne Katikkiro wa Buganda nti emmotoka eyo tugenda kukwatira wamu naye tugirongooseddemu ku luguudo bannayuganda tujja kuba basanyufu nnyo okulaba emmotoka eyatwalanga Ssaabasajja Kabaka Mutebi ku ssomero eyali ya Ssekabaka Muteesa nga tugiraba ku luguudo so tuli basanyufu emmotoka zino zitujjukiza ebintu bingi kuba emmotoka zino it's a family member eri bannannyinizo ekisooka emmotoka zino zikulaga abantu bano engeri gye balabiramu amaka gaabwe teri muntu asobola kulabira mmotoka bw'ati emyaka 30 oba 40 nga tasobodde kulabirira bulungi mukyala we oba baana be kino kikulaga obaami ab'obuvunaanyizibwa kikulaga abakyala ab'obuvunaanyizibwa ate olwebwe lubeera nga lunaku lwe tujaguza olunaku lw'abakyala tuli basanyufu nnyo nti emmotoka zino bwe zivaayo zitulaga strong families bw'ogoberera emmotoka zino gye ziva zikulaga family nga bwe zifaanana so I'm very grateful and njagala okuzamba na Uganda mwenna amaanyi nti kino kikulu nnyo era eggwanga laffe kitulaga nti eggwanga laffe lifuuka even more organized gifa nnyo Cycad eka naye emiti gino bw'ogisimba nga akagundi kano tokamemera long days at times they dry off so it's always good and we are going to try to plant it
Kamenya.
That
you break the soil.
Okamemento.
Okay. Bugalo abakyala mukwe mu ngalo naku lwamwe luno. Kena tuli bakyala. Minister yagambye naye mukyala.
Yes.
Abami bebande kubye mu ngalo tatumbu abakyala.
Fumba kujja kufumba.
Asubire mu bafumbe. Amina.
Okay.
And this tree is going to be named after you, if you don't mind, Minister.
Wow, good.
Yes, so that your great-grandchildren will know that on such a day you did this and you planted this tree. On Women's Day.
I wish if this was, just imagine if we had no women.
We're going to plant this. Let's have one plant.
Just think about it.
I know, it would be a mess.
Bino bye bimu ku byasigala ku mmotoka za Ssekabaka Muteesa owokubiri yayina emmotoka eya Daimler yene enzirugavu emmotoka eno ya Daimler nno yabeeranga na ku Uganda Museum mu 2012 awo ne tugiclaiminga ne bagituwa kakati emmotoka endala yali Cadillac eno Pontiac Cadillac eva mu ggwanga lya America ate eno yo eya Daimler eva mu ggwanga lya Bungereza naye eya Cadillac ne Rolls Royce naye tujja kugiraba zo abasajja b'obote bwe baamala okulumba olubiri baasima ebinnya ne bakozesa bitrakita bino bimajegere ne bazirinya ne bazoonoona ne basima ne baziziika zino twazikula nzikule ngaafe abali mu byobulambuzi era bino tubitwalira ddala nga bya bulambuzi kubanga emmotoka zino za ssente mpitirivu olwaleero okuzinoonya za ssente mpitirivu naye ffe tubalagako nti bannange Kabaka yazirina era bino bimu ku byasigala
ebbaati ndaba ali kwegamba siri ebbaati erya bulijjo olowooza bwebanga esanze omuntu omu ku gwagimanyi asobola okugikola n'agizaawo
era tulowooza nti mu maaso eyo oba amanyi ebungereza eyo abantu abakoleranga kampani eno basobola oba okwekolamu omulimo nga tubasabye endowooza ne baba nga emotoka nga zino engene zisobola okudda ku luguudo. Injini yayo ekyali bulungi, eri mu mbeera nnungi, terabika bubi, ate nga abagenyi bonna bennambuzaako abakadde ab'omu biseera ebyo 1958 1962 mu biseera ebyo emotoka zino kubanga eno model nga 1962 awo Daimler. Akati baga nti kisoboka emotoka injini ennungi n'ebbaati nalyo ddungi.
Munange ebintu obitegedde obiraba. Emmotoka bbiri zaali emmotoka mmeka eza Ssekabaka zali alina?
Ssekabaka yalina emmotoka nga ziwerako, neffe olwaleero wano tulinawo zino kubanga yalina Rolls Royce zaali nnyingi. Muwulire ezimu waliwo ze balabako e South Africa, waliwo gye baagala okutereeza n'ebirala, naye ffe wano tulinawo ssatu.
We are very glad to see you. You are most welcome. This is a very noble cause where great men and women team up with the conservation body on such a great day, Women's Day, to be able to showcase and promote this center. We really appreciate. We need to clap for this initiative. When we were contacted, there was no second thought because we thrive on partnerships, and as you know, as we strive to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals, we must work in partnerships. There's no doubt about that. So when we were contacted, we were very excited, and this afternoon we are very glad to receive you. I hope you're having a warm stay so far. This center, I was interacting with one of the people with whom I was in the car, and he told me he was last year when he was in primary school, and that the place had changed so much. I want to assure you that we've tried to transform this place. I've been privileged to work here for the last 15 years, and I've been part of the journey that has transformed this center to an extent that now you're sitting right at the beach. The longest beach within Entebbe, 360 meters, is right here. So after this function, we would like you to come back either as an individual or a family and bring another function here. It could be a wedding, it could be a marriage, ceremony, it could be, celebration of a jubilee. You are always most welcome. And in addition to this beach, of course, we have a restaurant, we have very good cottages and apartments. You can come here and camp, we can do campfire for you. This is now the ultimate family destination in Uganda, a stone throw from Kampala. So I want to encourage you that as we have started this partnership, let it not end here. Like we were meeting, we suggested that this could be an annual event, but also when we go back, let's tell others about this center. This center, yours here in Entebbe now, is the best in East, West, and Central Africa. Did you know that? It was actually audited by the Pan-African Association of Zoos and Aquariums, and it was found to be the best in the region and was named as the capacity building center for this region in Africa. So we are very privileged as Uganda. Once again, I want to welcome you. Feel free. The activity of the vintage is so unique, and when we blend it with conservation, I think it makes a lot of meaning. I also want to urge you at the individual level, let us do something for conservation. However small something may be, it could be your birthday and you plant an indigenous tree species within your backyard. That can create a big difference in generating the oxygen that we need in stabilizing the climate change problem. So let's do something individually, positive self-conservation action, so that together we can contribute to the well-being of us, animals, and plants in the environment. Enjoy your stay. You are right at the water. I hope you're enjoying the fresh air. Thank you. Have a great day. I thank you and most welcome.
Talk about the Rotarians Vintage and Collectibles Fellowship, and people are asking me, what is this? Let me call them hobbies. So people with similar hobbies come together and form a group that we call fellowship. And then they register their group with the Rotary International. They also go ahead to register the group with the, for here, Uganda Registration Bureau. And then they make it a legal group and they set their activities. And that is what we do under Rotarians Vintage and Collectibles Fellowship. So we are a group of Rotarians and non-Rotarians, because our aim as Rotarians is to inspire other people to join Rotary through the actions that we do and the activities that we do in Rotary. So we have a forum to integrate with non-Rotarians in our activities, for them to learn what we do, to appreciate what we do, and finally those who would wish to join, they join Rotary. So that is one of the aims for Rotarians Vintage and Collectibles Fellowship. The other aim is to fellowship together. Come together as Rotarians and non-Rotarians, fellowship, exchange experiences, share ideas about the restoration, about the keeping the cars, activities that we can do using our love for the vintage. That helps us to fellowship together. We also have other activities that we do as a vintage fellowship. Apart from driving the cars and restoring the cars and keeping the cars off our garages, taking them on the roads, we also get to be involved in activities like conservation, like what we are doing today, planting of Cycad trees. Our last event, and let me say our first event was last year, but one, where we held this same event at Vintage Eco Lodge in Gayaza, and we had a nice camping. We had an overnight camping before the event the following day. So this is our second year of this event. We are moving small steps, but we're gonna make this event to be a good event, a better event, and with better networks and collaborations to grow the event. We have organized this event within a very short time, as Eric said. So we've not been able to fix a number of things, to put a number of things in place, but we want to thank God that this event has taken place and it's beginning to get better. We have a clip that we are going to circulate in our networks so that you can see how that journey has been covered. At a given moment, she will also give us a statement on how she started working on her car up to this level that she's receiving this event. Thank you so much.
I wish them happy Women's Day. And yes, I'm a Rotarian. I'm the president Rotarian. I'm a 35th Rotarian of the Rotary Club of Entebbe. And if I take a step back, I also am the president of the presidents. Forgot to say that. It's something that came up in last year, that all presidents have to be represented by one person, and I so happened to have been the vice president, and then my colleague fell sick, and then I put on the shoes, and they fit very well without a pinch. At this occasion, to mark the International Women's Day, at the same time, by the Rotary Fellowship Vintage Collectibles and Antiquities, I feel privileged and humble. Thank you so much for inviting the Rotary Club of Entebbe to be one of these to enjoy with you. While we're thinking of what antiquities and collectibles by the Rotary Fellowship, we think a lot about the women and how we actually keep ourselves, let alone the things around us. When you think of the collectibles, nobody can beat us as women when we are collecting things. I'm actually expecting ladies to applaud me on that. No wonder the lady is the one who's going to win this show of today. It is by no means a mistake. It is something that we do in our everyday life. We also applaud you to have chosen the Uwec as a partner. Uwec has worked with the Rotarians for a long time, especially the Rotary Club of Entebbe. They have supported us because we do what we call a design. Every year we play golf, and they always come in to help us, because the money that we collect out of there, we go ahead and help the small children who are born with heart problems. We help them to operate the heart problems. As you have heard, I come from the kingdom. Can I request that the next or any other that you feel, please bring it to the kingdom. We will look for the Kadla of Rukidi the Third. He used to have an open Kadla that can actually probably compete with madams. We were warned that this has to be very short message, and I'm willing to do to follow on that rule. And at this time, I say thank you so much. Thank you for inviting us. And thank you. We're proud and humbled to be part of you at this time. Thank you.
Where I come from, Talina Vintage Wakufa. So I think take that home with you. Anyway, about 2 days ago, New Daily Monitor wrote an article on me, and it was an article about Uganda bikers. I also chair Uganda Bikers Association, and if you're asking why, I am also a biker. So the reporter reported myself as a woman who associates with big things. But then I wondered, he probably had no idea that I'm working on a vintage car, which is not so big. But having said that, one of the big things that I have is a big heart. I am a Rotarian. I'll take you back to why I restored a Ford Anglia, what you would call Angalia. This was my parents' car, 1965 Ford Anglia, 106E model. This had been sitting in my parents' compound for as long as, I don't know, 20 years. And I got tired listening to the rats playing around the car. The dogs were having a field day, sleeping in there. So last October, I made up my mind and I called the carrier, we put it on, and off it went to the garage in the industrial area. There were a lot of mishaps, ups and downs, disappointments, but I will tell you, for all you who have restored vintage cars or are hoping to restore, if you don't have the patience, vintage is not for you, because you'll have to redo, remodel, take out, put something else. If you don't have the patience, look for the spare parts. Sometimes you may not get the original part, you have to kuchiya. But at the end of the day, about 2 weeks ago, we did a test drive. A few people, including Rotarian Kabwa, spotted us on industrial area. We decided to do a test run in industrial area because we thought the traffic was down. It's about 6 p.m. And of course we were going round to Mukwano roundabout. And it actually felt so good. Bad as it was, we haven't even done the body. The windows are not in, the frame, it's just a frame. The door has just a rope around it, but I didn't care. For me, what mattered that it was on the road. I'll tell you one last thing before I get off here. When we were young kids, my parents took turns to take us to school with the other kids from the village. This Fordang there, if you know it, can probably fit 2 people in the back, maybe 3. But we were about, I could have said we were about 8 of us, young kids by then. And my mom was picking us from school, and we stopped at the traffic light on Entebbe Road. And the traffic officer peeked through the window and said, "Madam, you're overloading." And my mom looked behind and she said, "Oh, mubulamunga mukaga ndoza." And we were already like 8 in there. Those words have been with me for the last half of my life. It is the very, very reason I restored that car, because every time I look at it, I imagine how the 8 of us would fit in the back there. It's a good feeling. When you see a vintage, please take it up. You never know how much gold you're sitting on.
entrance.